Hello everyone, so I just finished my Gatherer mid-tier melts. Here we go. I will show them in the video, also a link in the video description. So the only difference now between high tier and mid tier is that on high tier it's way better for collectible because you have way more percent on meticulous chance when you are doing collectibles. And you have you have a yield +1 on the high tier as well. So it's more quantity as well when you gather. But I try to just compromise a little bit and make the melds way cheaper this way as well. So this is highly recommended if you don't have the funds for the high tier. I actually think it's very good. And here are the stats. I haven't popped food yet. I'll pop it now. With that, we can do even the 1000 GP rotation on collectibles as well. So you have to wait until 988 GP to do the 1000 GP rotation. The way it works is when you hit Meticulous, you gain back 8 GP. So by the time you do twice, that makes the 1000 GP rotation possible. And I will link the infographic. Thanks to Teamcraft again for their infographic for the rotation itself. I will put that as well in the video description. Alright, I have the 988 GP. The food was Nasi Goreng HQ. Scrutiny, Meticulous. Nice, we got crit. Oh. Scrutiny, Meticulous again. Wow. So 1000 GP rotation, if you get Collector Standard, is still possible in 2 hits with these melts. So just gather. And you can do Solid Reason Eureka Moment twice after you hit 1000. So there you go. Alright, so the difference between these melds and the high tier for collectible is that we can't hit the cap with the collectible skills unless we hit critical and collector standard. So that's why the high tier melds are so much better for collectible farming. I'll show you another example. But we still get things like, as you can see, gathering attempts +2 even on collectible with these melts, so it's still really good. Scrutiny, Meticulous. We critted there, so if you hit the cap, a crit gives you 500. We only got 484 with these melts. That's the difference between an expensive melts or not. So it depends what you want to focus on. If your long-term goal is endless collectible farming, I definitely recommend the high tier melts over this. But if your long-term is farming legendary materials, the rotation for that is coming up next. Alright, so we don't have collector's high standard, so if I had that I would have hit Scrutiny then Brazen. But now I will hit another Meticulous here. Okay. I'm missing 130, so one more Meticulous should be more than enough. And I have 14% chance with these melts that integrity will not reduce with Meticulous. With the high tier melts we have 23%. So just think about that. How big of a difference it is. In the long run, if you're doing a lot of collectibles, it's gonna really add up. So if you're planning to do tons of collectibles, do the high tier melts instead. So it all depends. If you just a casual gatherer, just hitting a node here and there, this mid tier will be more than enough. But if you're planning long term, yeah, I will really recommend the high tier. Obviously we have 600 GP remaining. This is a 1000 GP rotation, so we use that for solid reason and Eureka moment. We still got so many of these. We still got 9 of these. I did get lucky with a crit though, keep that in mind. So it's still really good, but it's just so hard to not go for the high tier, it's so much better. Alright, so when it comes to the legendary nodes, the difference between these mid-tier melds and the high-tier one that I shared before is that the high-tier also have the yield +1 proc. This one only gets the boon plus 30% chance. So that's the only difference really, which makes these melds really good and cheap. So that's awesome. We got integrity +2, awesome, and boon plus 30%. So when you have integrity +2 or +1, I do King's Zeal 2. For botanist is Blessed Harvest 2. And I do Tidings. That's it. Just hit it. This way we can do one mount solid reason / ageless words or Eureka moment. You wanna save that 300 GP for that because that gives you more spirit bond. At the same time you get a lot of quantity if that's what you're after. But if you still want a spirit bond, focus on spirit bonding, ignore Blessed Harvest or King's Zeal 2. Or Mountaineer or Tidings, ignore all that, just do solid reason and Wise to the Vault. That will give you more spirit bond. So there you go, that's the mid-tier melds. I hope you find it helpful. If you did, please leave a like on the video, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you in the next guide. Take care, bye bye.